The federal government has signed a $1.7 billion deal with pharmaceutical companies to secure enough COVID-19 vaccinations for all Australians. The government says Australians will get free access from 2021 if two promising trials are successful. Political reporter Noor Hayter joins us now from Parliament House in Canberra. Noor, g'day. So what can you tell us about this deal?
Yeah, good morning, Joe. The federal government has struck agreements, supply and production agreements for two possible COVID-19 vaccines costing $1.7 billion. Now, these agreements are for two different vaccines. One is the Oxford University and AstraZeneca vaccine. The other is a Queensland University vaccine along with the company CSL. Now, both vaccines are still undergoing trials and there is no guarantee that both of these or either of these will be successful, but the government says if they pass late stage testing, they will be rolled out progressively from the beginning of 2021 to all Australians for free. Now, the government has ordered $84 million doses combined of these two different vaccines. Most of them will be manufactured at biotech facilities in Melbourne. Vulnerable Australians and healthcare workers working on the front line will be first in line to access these injections before they are distributed more broadly across the Australian population. Of course, there are dozens of vaccines being tested and trialled around the world. The Industry and Science Minister Karen Andrews was on Breakfast TV this morning and she explained why the government has chosen these two vaccines.
The reason that the government has backed these two vaccines is that both are in reasonably advanced stages of testing. The Oxford vaccine is more advanced. Both of them are showing promise. So we're getting ready so that Australia will be in the best possible position should either or both of those vaccines prove to be safe and effective.
And Noor, what's the thinking behind Australia ordering 84 million doses when the population is a third of that?
Yeah, Joe, it might sound like a lot, but both of these vaccines are actually required to be taken in two doses. So people will need to take an initial shot followed by a booster vaccine several weeks later. Under this deal, 51 million doses of the Queensland University vaccine would be made. So that covers about 25 million people. If the Oxford candidate is the first one to get the green light, about 34 million doses will be made. So that covers about 17 million people. The government says if both prove to be successful, then it will have about 30 million doses in surplus stock, which it will be able to donate or sell on to other nations.
And what's the discussion about whether this would be mandatory or not?
Yeah, Joe, this vaccine won't be made mandatory to Australians. The Health Minister, Greg Hunt, has said that the government does want widespread immunisation across the country. They've previously indicated that about 95% of the population would need to be vaccinated to stop the spread of COVID-19 through the community, but it won't be made compulsory. In making this announcement, the government has stressed that for vaccines to be approved in Australia, they need to undergo thorough testing and they are regularly and continuously monitored for safety concerns. When the government first announced that a deal was in the works a couple of weeks ago, there were suggestions that it could potentially be tied to government payments or welfare payments. So we'll have to wait and see if the government decides to go down that path to encourage or persuade Australians to be immunised.
Okay, Noor Hayter reporting there from Parliament House in Canberra.